Hi, I'm Roy from the Psychometrician, and today we're diving deep into advanced counter-manipulation techniques for professionals working in high-risk environments. This isn't about casual office politics. We're talking about scenarios where manipulation can have serious consequences. Think about healthcare settings with volatile patients, high-stakes negotiations, or even dealing with potentially dangerous individuals. These environments require a heightened awareness of manipulative tactics and the ability to counter them effectively. We'll be exploring a range of techniques from recognizing the subtle signs of manipulation to employing advanced verbal judo to protect yourself and maintain control. This information is crucial for your safety, the security of your workplace, and effective management of challenging interpersonal situations. This isn't about becoming paranoid or distrusting everyone you encounter. It's about developing a keen sense of observation, understanding human behavior in these specific contexts, and having a toolkit of strategies to navigate these situations with confidence. Throughout this series, we'll be breaking down complex manipulation tactics into understandable components, providing clear examples, and equipping you with practical tools to implement in your professional life. Let's begin this comprehensive overview. Grooming in the context of manipulation is a slow, calculated process. It's often subtle and insidious, making it difficult to detect. One sign is excessive friendliness or helpfulness that seems out of place. These actions might appear innocent, but can be part of a strategy to gain your confidence. Another tactic is the gradual escalation of requests. They start small and increase over time, making you feel obligated to comply. Grooming often involves creating a false sense of intimacy or connection. The manipulator might share personal information to create a special bond. They may confide in you to create empathy and obligation. Be wary of those who try to establish an emotional connection too quickly. Healthy relationships take time to develop. Another tactic is to isolate you from your support system. They might sow discord between you and your friends or family. Healthy relationships are built on trust and mutual respect. Triangulation is a manipulative tactic that involves bringing a third party into a two-person conflict or dynamic to gain an advantage. It's a way of indirectly addressing issues, spreading rumors, and creating drama to manipulate the situation in their favor. One of the most common signs of triangulation is inconsistent stories. The manipulator might tell different versions of events to different people, often portraying themselves as the victim or the hero, depending on their audience. This creates confusion, distrust, and conflict between the individuals involved, while the manipulator sits back and watches the drama unfold. Another red flag is the manipulator's tendency to gain sympathy by criticizing others. They might confide in you about how terribly someone else is treating them, painting themselves as the innocent party while subtly poisoning your opinion of the other person. This tactic is particularly effective because it allows the manipulator to maintain a facade of innocence while simultaneously undermining the reputation of their target. They might even try to pit you against the other person, creating a scenario where you're more likely to side with them. Triangulation can also manifest in the workplace as attempts to create conflicts between teams or departments. The manipulator might spread rumors or gossip about another team's performance, work ethic, or intentions, sowing discord and undermining collaboration. This can lead to a toxic work environment characterized by distrust, competition, and backstabbing. Be wary of individuals who constantly compare teams or departments, highlighting the perceived shortcomings of one over the other. They might frame it as friendly competition, but their underlying motive is often to create division and gain power. If you find yourself caught in a web of triangulation, it's essential to take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Don't allow yourself to be drawn into gossip or drama. Instead, encourage direct communication and conflict resolution between the parties involved. Remember, manipulators thrive on chaos and division. By refusing to play their game, you can maintain your integrity and protect yourself from their toxic influence. Now we're diving into murky waters, crisis generation. This is where a manipulator creates artificial pressure cooker situations to throw you off balance. Think about it. When you're scrambling to handle a supposed 5-alarm fire, you're not exactly thinking straight. That's what they're banking on. They might fake an urgent situation, instigate a conflict between colleagues, anything to divert attention and exploit the chaos. Remember those fire drills back in school? Same principle. They want you conditioned to react instinctively, not logically. So, how do you spot this tactic in action? It's about looking for patterns and inconsistencies. Are there individuals who always seem to be at the epicenter of these emergencies? Is there a convenient pattern to when these crises conveniently occur? Think back to any recent workplace dramas. Was there a more subtle goal someone might have achieved by stirring the pot? Did a key decision get rushed as a result? Remember, true crises are rare. If someone's constantly surrounded by drama, it's time to grab your metaphorical fire extinguisher and investigate. Ever encountered someone who seems perpetually incapable of handling the simplest tasks? I'm not talking about genuine struggles, but a calculated performance of helplessness. This, my friends, is learned helplessness in action. It's a manipulation tactic designed to exploit your good nature and shift their responsibilities onto you. They might forget basic procedures they've followed for months, constantly need their hand held for minor tasks, or suddenly develop selective amnesia about their skill set. It's frustrating, it's time-consuming, and it's a classic red flag that someone might be trying to play you for a fool. Now, it's crucial to distinguish between genuine difficulty and strategic incompetence. Some individuals might need additional support, and that's perfectly all right. But when someone consistently displays helplessness to get out of work or gain special treatment, alarm bells should be ringing. Look for inconsistencies. Can they perform the task when it benefits them directly? Do they magically regain competence when there's something in it for them? Remember, your time and energy are valuable. Don't let a master manipulator turn you into their personal assistant. All right, let's talk about splitting, a tactic as old as time itself. It's about creating division, sowing seeds of discord, and turning people against each other. Think of it like this. A manipulator is a puppeteer, and the strings they pull are made of gossip, rumors, and carefully crafted narratives. They might shower certain individuals with praise while subtly undermining others. They might whisper half-truths, plant seeds of doubt, and watch the drama unfold. The goal? To keep everyone off balance, insecure, and too busy fighting amongst themselves to notice the real manipulation taking place. So, how do you navigate this minefield of interpersonal chaos? First, recognize the signs. Is there a sudden shift in alliances? Are you hearing conflicting accounts of the same event? Is there a noticeable in-group and out-group forming? Be wary of anyone who seems overly invested in sharing gossip or fueling the rumor mill. They might just be playing both sides. Remember, a united team is a manipulator's worst nightmare. By recognizing and resisting these tactics, you can help foster a more cohesive and productive environment. Gaslighting. This one's straight out of a psychological thriller, but trust me, it happens in the real world more than you'd think. It's all about messing with your head, making you doubt your own sanity. Someone trying to gaslight you wants to control the narrative to make you question your own memories and perceptions. They might flat out deny things you know happened, twist events to fit their version of the story, or try to convince you that you're misremembering or imagining things. It's insidious, it's manipulative, and it can really eat away at your sense of self. But don't worry, we're going to arm you with the knowledge to spot it and shut it down. Now, gaslighting often starts subtly. It's not always a dramatic confrontation. It can be little things, like someone casually contradicting you about a conversation you had or insisting that you agreed to something you never did. They might tell you you're being too sensitive or overreacting when you call them out on something, and they often do it with this air of concern, like they're worried about your mental state. It's all part of the game, folks. So trust your gut. If something feels off, if someone's constantly making you question your own reality, there's a good chance you're dealing with a gaslighter. All right, let's talk about emotional distance. Now, I'm not saying you should become a robot. You're a human being, you have emotions, it's okay to feel things. But in high-risk environments, especially when you're dealing with potential manipulators, learning to manage those emotions is crucial. Think of it like building a psychological firewall. You want to protect your inner self, your vulnerabilities from being exploited. And the best way to do that is by creating some healthy distance between your personal and professional lives. So how do we build this emotional distance? Well, one effective technique is developing a professional persona. Think of it as your work character. This persona is calm, composed, and doesn't let things get under their skin. Another key strategy is information compartmentalization. Keep your personal life and your professional life separate. Don't share too much personal information at work and avoid discussing work matters in your personal time. Finally, master the art of emotional regulation. This means learning to control your facial expressions and body language, even when you're feeling stressed or triggered. Now, let's talk about throwing a wrench into the gears of manipulation's strategic unpredictability. See, manipulators thrive on patterns. They observe, they analyze, they learn your routines and reactions. But when you introduce unpredictability, you disrupt their game. It's like trying to hit a moving target. Now, I'm not talking about going completely rogue and breaking all the rules. We're still professionals here. But within the bounds of protocol, there are ways to make yourself less predictable and therefore less susceptible to manipulation. One way to implement this is by randomizing your routines. Use a randomization app to vary your daily activities, like the route you take to work or the order in which you complete tasks. Another technique is response variation. Develop multiple approved responses to common situations and alternate between them. You can also practice decision unpredictability. Avoid establishing rigid patterns in your decision-making processes. By mixing things up, you keep manipulators guessing and make it much harder for them to anticipate your moves. Let's dive into advanced counter-manipulation tactics, techniques you might call psychological hand-to-hand combat. We're talking about verbal judo, using language to deflect and redirect manipulation. Just like in judo, use your opponent's momentum against them. The first technique is deflection. Imagine someone's trying to guilt you into breaking protocol. Deflection is acknowledging their feelings without conceding. Say, I understand you feel that way, but the policy remains the same. You're not arguing, just redirecting their manipulation. Develop unshakable calmness, stay objective. Stick to the facts, don't let emotional appeals sway you. Moving on to another powerful verbal judo technique, the broken record. This is your go-to when dealing with persistent, boundary-pushing individuals. Imagine someone repeatedly asking for a favor, trying to wear down your resistance. The broken record technique is about calmly repeating your position like a broken record without engaging in further debate. Let's say someone's constantly asking for special treatment, bending the rules just for them. You've explained the policy, but they keep pushing. Here's where you employ the broken record. As I mentioned, the policy applies to everyone equally. No matter how many different ways they phrase their request, your response remains consistent, calm, and unwavering. The beauty of the broken record technique is its simplicity. It requires no elaborate arguments, no emotional investment, just calm, consistent repetition. This can be incredibly effective in disarming manipulators who thrive on emotional reactions. By refusing to engage in their game, you maintain control of the interaction. Remember, the goal of verbal judo is not to win an argument, but to maintain control, enforce boundaries, and prevent manipulation. The broken record technique, when used effectively, allows you to do just that. Now let's talk about a concept I call manipulation chains. Most manipulation tactics don't occur in isolation. They're part of a larger chain of events, leading to a much larger goal. Think of it like a con artist setting up their mark. To counter manipulation, recognize these chains. See the forest for the trees. Pay attention to patterns of behavior over time. Study common manipulation patterns in your environment. Identify the tells and early warning signs. Interrupt the process before it gains momentum. Once you've identified a potential manipulation chain, the next step is to disrupt it. This requires quick, decisive action. The longer you hesitate, the more opportunity the manipulator has. Think of it like a game of chess. You need to anticipate their moves and counter them. Develop pre-prepared responses to common manipulation attempts. These should be firm, professional, and unambiguous. Another crucial aspect is documentation. Keep a detailed record of any suspicious behavior. This provides evidence and helps refine your strategies. Dealing with manipulation requires constant vigilance and adaptability. By recognizing early warning signs and developing counter-strategies, you can maintain a safer, more secure work environment. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our journey into the world of counter-manipulation. We've covered a lot of ground, from identifying common manipulation tactics to developing advanced verbal judo techniques. But remember, this is just the beginning. Counter-manipulation is a constant process, a way of thinking, a commitment to staying vigilant. These techniques require continuous practice and adaptation. The world of manipulation is constantly evolving. Stay informed, seek ongoing training, and share your experiences. Your primary objective is to maintain control and ensure safety. This is Roy from the Psychometrician, wishing you a secure and effective career.